topic. Today's topic is wind power generation. The last class we discussed about solar power generation. Today we shall discuss about wind power generation. We all know that in today's world, as energy consumption is increasing day by day, the fossil fuels are depleting very fast. Hence, it is need of the hour to utilize renewable energy sources more and more for the electrical purpose. Generally, solar and wind has very good prospects of generation. So, considering wind power generation, the wind power has been in use for serving the mankind for many years, since centuries, in different methods or different ways, not the direct electricity generation, but in a different format, the wind energy is being used. Generally, when we come across the history, the wind mills were famous and wind energy was utilized for the windmill purpose. Earlier stages, there was no energy was generated, but using the wind velocity, there are different jobs that have been performed. Like in the older days, we used to perform using windmills, wind power, wheat grinding, the pumping of the water used to be happening, several irrigational works they used to do, then sailing was happening, the vessels, all those things we were using for the wind power generations. Now, for the purpose of electricity, let us analyze. So from this diagram you can see the different components which we come across for the purpose of electricity generation. Generally, wind turbines operate on simple principle that they usually capture the kinetic energy in the wind and convert that into electricity. So there are different types of wind turbines used in a present situation. Horizontal axis machines, vertical axis machines. There are also 3-bladed, 2-bladed, different kinds of wind turbines are available in the market. So the wind energy which is available is being used to rotate these blades. So what these blades do, they rotate the energy is utilized to rotate these blades. So they have been mounted at a certain height, generally of 40 meters or so. Now what happens? This will convert the kinetic energy of the wind into mechanical energy, and this mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy by the operation of generator. Now we can see in the diagram the different components were used here. When you observe here, these are the wind blades, the gearbox and the generator. This is the nacelle, yard drive, tower which we have mounted, the foundation for the mountation. So wind power and wind power to gear. In simple terms, we can say here, this is the turbine rotation, wind. Then from there, using the gearbox, the control is done. Then the gear rotor is used. Then the converter is converted into DC with the help of rectifiers. Then MPPT DC used for fine tuning. Then from the DC, it is given to converter. From converter, it is stored in the battery in the form of DC. Now, whenever there is a upward type turbines and they face into the wind, while the downward type turbines face away from the wind. There are two types, upward and downward. Generally, these wind turbines are often made from steel or concrete in structure because the wind velocity will be high, so they have to tolerate and produce the wind energy. And the general structure used is taller towers, which enables us to capture more kinetic wind energy, because more the height you proceed, the wind speed increases with the height. Now the turbines which are commonly used have 2 or 3 blade like structure. Here in the diagram you can see it is a 2-blade structure and they are mounted on a rotor. So that rotor which is sitting on the horizontal to the ground, you can observe here. Now the turbine blades lift here, they lift and rotate whenever the wind blows over them. Now the blades turn a low speed shaft at about 30 to 60 rotations per minute RPM, and a gearbox connects this low speed shaft to the high speed shaft and increases the rotational speeds from 30 to 60 rpm to about 1000 to 1800 rpm. So we have to note this here, the So the speed which was earlier 30 to 60 rpm, it's been converted into 1000 to 1800 rpm. This 1000 to 1800 rpm is rotational speed which is generally required by the most generators in order to produce the electricity. That speed is minimum for in order to generate the electricity. Now what happens, the high speed shaft drivers and the generator which generally produces AC electrical energy, and through that the power is being generated and and it is supplied to the grid. So this is how exactly the wind energy is generated. Wind energy is one of the most utilized in the modern day for the purpose of electricity, as first of all, in order to establish a wind generator, they will identify what is the velocity in that particular areas. If at all we are able to generate with that particular velocity, then we will go ahead for generation of wind energy. Hope you understood how electricity is generated using wind power. Thank you.